Hey everyone, welcome back to SFDC Panther. This is Amit and we are in NBA part 3. So today we are going to work about branch logic related elements. So we have got total 3 elements which are related to branch logic. So by branch what we mean is every load statement is acting as a branch. So we have got 3 elements like branch merge, what this is doing and how we can use it and what is the use of this and what is the branch selector element, and at the end we are going to talk about first non-empty branch. So let's quickly start with one by one. Branch merge is basically what it does. It takes 2 or more branches, that means it takes 2 or more load statement, merge all the recommendations and then provide a single branch for us. With the help of merge branch, we can also control how many recommendations we wanted to pass through with this merge branch. Either we wanted to allow all the recommendations that are coming from 2 or more load statements, or we wanted to provide some numbers like 1, 2, 3 or 4. So that's what we can do with branch merge. We can merge the recommendations, we can limit the recommendations to the output screen, to the next element what we have. And then for the branch selector element, what actually it does is, suppose that we have different branches. That means if you see in the diagram, we have got 5 load statements. That means we have 5 branches, and this load statement is attached with the branch merge element, and these 3 load statements are attached with non-empty branch elements. So we are going to discuss about this later. So we have put branch selector element after these 2 elements. So what we can do is we can put some filters in the branch selector. Suppose that we wanted to display a recommendation whenever the case status is accelerated only. So now case acceleration recommendation we are getting from this load element. We are merging this, we are passing all the recommendations here, and then in the branch selector we can put a filter by saying that if record status is accelerated, then only process the recommendation from this load statement. Otherwise skip that. That we will see how we can put. So in this branch selector we will get 2 branches and we can filter those 2 branches. One is the branch that we are getting with the help of branch merge, and one is the branch that we are getting with the help of first non-empty branch. Here we will get 2 branches and we can put the filter for those 2. And again then what we have is we can have multiple branches as well. Suppose that we have one more here and one more here, then we will get 4 branches. 4 conditional statements we can put there in this branch selector element. So that is all about branch selector element. And then we have got first non-empty branch. So when this is being used, so suppose that a scenario we have multiple load statements and we are getting different recommendations from there, but we don't know which load statement is going to return some recommendation to us. So what we can do is we can traverse from top to bottom, and whenever we are getting some recommendation in any load statement, rest of the load statements are going to be skipped, and we will get the output of that load statement into the next element. How it is going to work with an example. Suppose that we have got 3 load statements here. Now this load statements is, as the name indicates, that no recommendations. That means this node statement is not returning any recommendation. Then it will going to evaluate this load statement, and as we can say we have got a call customer, there is a recommendation. If this particular node is returning any recommendation, even a single record I found, this load statement is going to be skipped and it is not going to be evaluated. That's what this first non-empty branch. That means if I'm getting any statement which is non-empty, I'm going to skip rest of the load statements. That's what it is doing. Now let's quickly discuss and see how each and every element works. So for the demo, I have modified my strategy builder to make this work for you. So here if you see, the image is same that I put in my slide. I've got two statements. One is for loading all recommendation. If I double click here and see, I have nothing. I'm just given the name. I put the filter whereas id doesn't equals null, and then I have case accelerated. So if you see, Now the name is case accelerated, and I have put a filter here saying if a name equals to case accelerated, then return only those recommendations here. So before we go ahead, I'd like to show you that I have created 3 more recommendations. One is collect payment, one is case accelerated, and one is call customer. These all are the name, and in the strategy builder we are referring all those here. If you see call customer, and we have got collect payment as well. Now what we are doing here, let's focus on these top 2 load statements and branch merge element here. So now what we are doing here is we are getting the recommendation from the first node, from the second node, and then we are merging the recommendation from these 2 nodes into a single branch. If we talk about here, you can say that how many maximum number of recommendation we are passing through this. We have an option, either we can control up to 5 recommendations. Suppose that if we are selecting one only, we will only pass one recommendation from here, no matter how many number of records we are getting from these 2 elements. So even let's quickly test it, and okay, before we are going to save it, let's test it. We're going to find an opportunity here, and you will say we have got only one. Why we are getting only one? Let's quickly talk about it. So let's go and get back to our inspector and use that to inspect our flow. Now we have got the ID, whatever the opportunity we selected. Let's click on run button. You can see we got the complete output here. Now if I select here load all recommendation, I got one, that is discount 5%. If I talk about this, I've also, okay, just select this. I've got no recommendation with name case accelerated. Okay, we've got no. Okay, let's quickly get back to recommendation here. I'm going to copy the name and I will put here in this name. Okay, I believe this is same. Now if we talk about this, okay, let's quickly, what we will do is we will delete this so that these all nodes will get deleted, and we will put back them again once we are done. I'm also going to delete this branch selector. Okay, as of now we are only the first, we are only working with first element, that is branch merge. From where we can get? From the element section. You can just drag and drop, and then you can put all those things here. Now we are allowing only one. Okay, cool. We have got map and we have got sort, limit offers that we worked in our previous video. Now let's save it, try to execute this. I'm going to execute it for another set of opportunities. So okay, I'm going to select this. Now we have got only one, that is okay. Click on done. I will use the inspector for this. We have got this. Now let's try to select one by one. We have got this. There is only one input count, that is we are getting only one recommendation, that is discount 5%. We are not getting anything. And why we are not getting anything? Because if you see here in our maximum recommendation, we set that we only want one record. Now if we select allow all recommendation, click on done, and we are going to say save as done. Now you will see here, select, we got total number of 7 recommendation records. How many we have got here? Total are 8. We are getting 7 there. Okay, input count 7 and output is 8. We are getting here 8. Okay, now if we talk about why we are getting only 7 here, because if you remember, we have one flow that is not active. That's why we are not getting discount 10% in our list, because that is associated with that inactive flow. Let's talk about case accelerated. We found one. If you can see here, if we talk about map example, that is our map, you can see that we have got 7 again in the sort element. And if you see, try to test it, you will see maximum 4. That's what we can display, the maximum 4 recommendation into the record base. That's what we are getting here. So if you, whatever the number you will select here, again let's say that we are selecting 3 and we are clicking on done, save. Let's click on run here. You will see we have got only 3 and all 3 are coming from here. This is not going to be evaluated. Why it's not going to be evaluated? because the maximum count we got from this particular node. Now let's quickly try to reorder it. Now we have got case accelerated, lowered recommendation. Let's try to run it. Save and run. Now we have seen the acceleration is selected, that is case selected, and this is also going to be evaluated. Why? Let's quickly see. We have got 3. Now this particular node is returning only 1 record. That's why we are getting here 1. And this is returning 3 records. Why it is returning 3 records? Because the maximum number is 3. So it will find out the 3 records. It found that we don't have the maximum number of records. Then it will find here and it will again return the maximum number that we mentioned into a branch merge. And in the output, if we select, if you see, oops, let's quickly select. Okay, we can't select limit reoffers. We have got 3, and that those 3 are going to be displayed to the record page. Try testing by this test button. You can see. So this is how branch merge work. Now let's talk about branch selector. So we are going to put a branch selector here. We can say branch selector, and let's click on this checkbox for allowing only recommendation which are matching the conditions that we are going to define. As of now we don't see any condition here, but we will see later on. Now we have got this. Let's quickly try to put some recommendation here. So we will say load all recommendation. Again I'm going to put here id doesn't equals to null, and then let's quickly try to put one more here. We will say call customer, and the name we are going to put from here. So we are going to say name equals, and this name is this, so that it returns only 1. And then again we have got one more, that is collect payment. So let's quickly say collect payment. Name we are going to put here equals and collect payment. So now we have got 3 statements as it looks like the previous one. If you now select here in branch selector, you can see that we have got 3 load statements. One is collect payment, one is customer call customer. We have got one is load all recommendations. And for this, as of now, if you see that filter that we have got is these are the true. That means by default it is going to pass all the recommendations that we are getting. Now if we talk about collect payment, what we can say here is, as of now this is we just put here filter on this based on the name of our recommendation. Now we wanted to put a filter here saying that I only want to display this if the amount field on opportunity is greater than 10,000. How we can do is, so as we know that $record is used to access the record field, and we can say that amount is greater than, I can say 10,000, then only display that field. But for now let's quickly, okay, yep, now we have got this. You can see it is already giving us that formula here. For the call customer, we can say that let's say that we are saying record dot name, and here we can say contains, if the name contains follow. This is just a basic thing. We're not going to do anything, and let's make it as a true. Okay, so we are going to make it as done. Now again, if you open that, we have got all these things. Okay, click on save return and try to test it and see what happens. We have got collect payment. If you see, the amount is greater than 10,000, that's why we are getting collect payment. And then okay, call to customer, we are also getting, why we are getting, okay, we did a filter for this name. Okay, if the record name contains follow, then only process, okay, and then only process this to here. Okay, so we can go here in the inspector, click on run. Okay, branch selector we got only one. We can see here collect payment. because we have got that, and load recommendation we are getting. Okay, in the map example we have got two. Okay, one is collect payment, case accelerated, that we are getting from here, and then we have got validate phone, and we have got account record open. So if we get back here into the opportunity, and we can try to see how many recommendations and what all recommendations we are getting there. So let's wait. Okay, now you can see that we have got collect payment. Okay, we have got that is account open, and then we have got call to customer, and then we have got validate. That means we are not getting that okay, call to customer we are getting. So what the name doesn't contain, still we are getting that. Okay, so go to the branch selector, call to customer, name contains follow. Okay, this is because of coming from this load all recommendations. That's why we are getting, because we have put here record true. So if we try to say that dollar record dot amount is less than 10, just for skipping that. So if we try to test it again, okay, still we are getting from, because okay, we have also got here. So if we say doesn't it, okay, why we are getting, because of this load recommendation. We can try to delete that, but we are not going to delete. Okay, so that's what here we are getting: collect payment, account record open, case accelerated, and validate phone. So if we talk about this record ID and try to open this here, we will see what we are getting. Okay, I think I've pasted on the wrong place. Okay, now we will see. So we have got collect payment, we have got account record open, then we have got call to customer, and we have got validate. So that's why we are getting all these four, because we can only display 4 recommendation records, and based on the order. That's why when this limit reoffers comes, when if you select, for example, if I select this call to customer, and again if I try to refresh this, then it will not come here. So okay, let's the open. Okay, now we have got this flow. Again, if we refresh this page, this time we will be able to see that case accelerated one, because we can okay, I've got 3 here only. Okay, cool. So that's how branch selector works. You just need to provide the queries, you just need to provide the filters based on your requirements that you want, and then display the recommendations there. So if we say here save, and if we try to execute it again, this time we should be only able to see 3 records. That's what we are getting here: collect payment, account record open, and validate phone. All those 3 are coming here, you can see. So this is how this branch selector works. Now let's talk about first non-empty branch that we are going to put here. So let's quickly try to put here in the middle, and we will say first non-empty branch. Okay, we have got in the middle. Let's quickly try to load here. We will say no recommendation, and we will say id equals to, that's it. Let's save it. Again we are going to say, okay, let's quickly copy a name here. We will say discount 5%. So what we are trying to do here is, we are actually trying to find out a recommendation which is only one. Okay, what is happening? Okay, now we have got, okay, let's make it, okay, I will make it so that you can see. Now let's load one more. So we can say, let's try to find out discount 15%. Now we have got name here, and provide condition. Okay, so again we are going to put it here. now you can see that for this first non-empty branch we have got 3 load statements as well. So what it will do, we have got, okay, let's quickly reorder it. Okay, first is no recommendation, that means we are not going to get any recommendation. Second is we are going to get discount 5%. This is going to be skipped. Why? Because this particular node is returning at least one recommendation. Let's try to inspect it, run. Okay, we are getting some error. Okay, we are getting error on this because it is saying that invalid ID. So I can say name equals to just some random numbers I'm putting here. I'm going to say save and run. Okay, now you can see this is returning 0 records because we just put a filter and that was our intention. If we select load 5% of discount 1, we have got 1, and now if we try to click this, you can see we're not getting any recommendation here. And in the first empty branch we will get only discount 5%, and this is going to be passed here as well. If you see, we are getting discount 5% here. That means there are total 5 outputs, but we are only going to get 4 because there is a limit of 4 records we can show at the record level. And then our limit reoffers comes into the picture. That's why we selected here, if user selected number of reactions, if user selected 1, that means if user accepts our particular recommendation for that record, we no need to display that record till we just put here 1, or we can say that till 90 days or till 30 days, how many days after we wanted to display that offer to the user again. And we can also even define limit reoffers for the rejection as well. So even if you have got elements, like if you wanted to put some limit reoffers here and say rejections here, we can say user rejects 1 time and then 90 days we can use here. And then again this can be put here like this. So we can do this like you can provide your things. So now you might be thinking that the first non-empty branch is also skipping the next element if we got the first element, if we got element just immediate above the branch. Then how it is different with our branch merge, because that is also doing. So in the branch, in this branch merge, what we are doing is we are actually defining how many maximum number of recommendation we want, and then after it is going to be skipped the rest of our elements. As you can see in this, we have got 1 here and then we have got 3 here, because maximum number of record is defined as a 3 here. Now if we say that 5, okay, we will get here, and let's quickly try to execute and run, save and run, and select here. We can see output count is 5, and we will get 1 from here and we will get 5 from here because the maximum number is here. But in case of non-empty branch, we are trying to identify which node is returning us the at least 1 recommendation. There is no limitation if it is returning 10 or hundreds of recommendation, and that doesn't match. That is the main basic difference between branch merge and first non-empty branch. And branch selector is basically used to put the filters whenever there are more than 1 branches. That means more than 1 load statements are coming through, and we wanted to filter a specific kind of recommendation based on our records. That's we can put here. That's what we are getting. So this is it about the branch logic, and in the next video we are going to work about enhance and generate statement. These are also the important aspects of NBL. So this is it for this video. If you have any questions, please feel free to put down into the comment section and I'll be more than happy to help you. Please do like, share and subscribe the channel. Thank you.